Alright, let's do a little bit more work on these straps here. So actually these straps that we've got for the with the non-existent kind of sword scabbard here, actually they're quite okay. I think we can actually keep them. But if I just bring back some of the references we had earlier, can you see that we've got this kind of link here? I guess this is a different kind of scabbard. I was thinking of having something more a little bit like this, but basically it's a kind of a combination. We've got one from the front which kind of stabilizes perhaps the top part, and then we've got another that kind of comes in from the bottom there. And of course on our scabbard we can have like different, you know, loops and whatnot. So we haven't really got a scabbard built or kind of made yet, but that's going to come way later. It's considered an accessory at this point, so I'm not really going to be too concerned about that at this particular point in time. But I do think it would be cool if we had like a shorter strap up here and a longer strap down there, and obviously we're going to have to fix that longer strap at the back to something as well. And I'm sort of thinking this little kind of clip that we made here could be a good opportunity to do that with. So we'll probably need to go ahead and we'll duplicate this guy here. So there we go, duplicate him, and we're going to have a lot of subtools by the end of this. That's normal. We can unify them later, not a big deal at all. And I'm just going to put him into place. I think somewhere roughly about there might be quite nice, and that's just a chance to maybe have like a small ring of some kind just kind of hang off that, which can kind of tie in with this particular strap here. Okay, right, fabulous. I think now what we could do is if we take this one here, and we could just kind of, you know, shrink it down and whatnot, but I think it might be a bit neater to cut it and chop it off somewhere. So I think let's just isolate this one and we'll just mask off something like that. I think that's probably enough resolution for maybe just a tad more. And let's go down to polygroup and we'll group masked, and there we've got a nice clean break all the way around. Fabulous. Oh, wrong one. Let's just click on that, click shift, control shift, sorry, and then do the inverse, and then we will delete hidden. And of course now we've got a hole there, so we can just simply go here and close hole. Okay, so now we've got that kind of closed off there. And then what we can do now is if we imagine the long kind of rectangle, I suppose actually we could just quickly insert a very quick and dirty, should we use a cylinder? Yeah, let's use a cylinder, why not? Let's do a very quick and dirty sort of sword scabbard, shall we? So just something like that, and we'll just stretch it out. There we go, something like this. It's always hard for me to gauge, you know, how long a sword scabbard should be. I think maybe something a little bit more modest like that would probably do. Something like that. Okay, and actually a quick cheap way just to make this kind of complete the look is to use the pinch tool, and I guess just pinch the end. Hey! So now it looks a little bit more like a weird umbrella, and smooth that out, I guess. And there you go, guys. There's a sword scabbard. Thank you for following the tutorial this entire course. I hope it was helpful in terms of how to make a sword scabbard and everything like that. Fantastic, great, and I'll see you in the full next course. Okay, yeah, so there's a kind of cheap little placeholder scabbard there. Let's just put it into position. I'm going to have this one adhere to the upper part. I'm going to have the other one go to the lower part. So just think about if she's reaching across there, that's roughly the right height, perhaps a little bit lower. So this guy here, we're just going to mask off his friend, and we're just going to move him a little bit so that he is a bit more in line with where that top of that scabbard could be, or where a strap could be around the top. That looks actually just to be almost in perfect position there. Okay, and then for the bottom one here, the friend, we'll flip that mask. That looks to be in good position there. Actually, that looks to be in a pretty good position, honestly. That could just hang down there a little bit lower, and what we'll do is we will include, let's add in another ring. Actually, can we use this ring? How does that look? Let's have a look at this little ring. I haven't really taken a look at it ever since I kind of made it, so let's pull him out. Yeah, he's a little bit skewed, but it's not too bad. I tell you what, let's just smooth him down, make it a bit thinner, And I believe for this one in our concert out, we actually had it like a triangular kind of ring. So we had a flat base like that. And I kind of had it pulled up a bit. And I guess we can sort of get away with pinching it. Almost. Yeah, something like that. And like we're gonna have to obviously use the move tool a bit, but just kind of create a triangular ring. A triangular ring. Let me know if you guys think that makes any sense. Does a triangular ring make any sense to you? A triangular ring. I'm just trying to ponder now. Does that make any sense whatsoever? I've no idea. Anyway, there we go. I've got a sort of a ring that I'm quite happy with the shape of. It's a bit more unique. It's not always just a circular ring. It's a triangular ring. Whether or not that makes any sense, I don't know, but hey, I was never ever any good at maths, so forgive me for that. So, okay, let's put that just a little bit skewed as to where it is, so it can be a bit tricky to place. Oh, it's gone in there. Hey, come out, you. There you go. Now stay there. Good. Rotate. Okay, so let's just unlock that a bit, and we'll just rotate him. Yeah, okay. Let's just go back to the move tool. Move tool might be a bit more helpful in the longer run here. Just because we can kind of organically shift it about a bit. And I guess actually it doesn't really need to hang right off the bottom, but it might look better if it did. There we go, something like that, in which case we now need to figure the strap out. And so here we just want to make sure that that's kind of almost held up. Is that correct? It's yeah, it should be a bit, yeah, it should be a bit sort of yeah, it should be a bit kind of, actually, what am I doing? This ring needs to be a bit bigger. Yeah, of course it does. It needs to go on the sides. Yeah. See, sometimes you just forget fundamental things like this. I mean, we deal with key rings and all sorts all day, every day, but well, maybe not all day, but we see them every day, and you still forget. At least I do. I still forget what they sort of look like. It's amazing, really. It's the same with the human face. You know, we look at faces all day, and we still make mistakes. We still can't recreate a human face, you know, just from our minds. It's one of those annoying things that I really wish we could do, but we can't. So actually, I've just made that ring a little bit too thin for my liking, so I'm going to inflate him a bit, particularly here. Just make it look a little bit more solid. There we go, something like that. That's nice. I'm going to leave that there. In fact, I like it, so I'm just going to duplicate him. I'm going to put him on the other side as well. I say that, but I can't see him. Where did you go? Oh, hang on. It's not. There we go. Padlocked. Okay, excellent. Is there anything else attached to this? Yes, it's 2 rings, so that was my bad. I did not check that. I should have checked that a bit better. So let's just go to auto groups, and we'll make sure we just want that triangular ring, and we'll delete the other one. Okay. Right, so let's put this triangular ring into position as best we can. And there he is. Okay, so it should still be in roughly the same arrangement as on the other side, so it should be a bit easier to place this one. So we'll loop it there, but we'll obviously have to angle it that way a little bit because it's being pulled by this bottom strap. Let's invert that mask. Move to the move tool. Actually, let's use topological just in case we grab the one behind by accident. And yeah, let's just kind of put that in there. Okay, swapping between the strap and the ring. Okay, I think we're gonna have to pinch this one down. Actually, no, hang on. Let's inflate the strap here instead. I'll explain why a little bit later on. Not right now. Let's just kind of put that so it's tight in there. There we go. Okay, so again, it's not an amazing sort of contraption. It's not anything too complex. It's not what I'd say like a full kind of scabbard could be, but essentially they're just going to be tied to, you know, straps that go all the way around the circumference of the scabbard instead. So, oh, hey, start menu, nice to see you. So like that. Okay, so again, it's nothing amazing, but it's a simple solution. Because I don't want to spend too much time, looking at all these what can we say, all these accessories and whatnot. We're just focusing on the main costume now, and I'd very much treat weapons as an accessory. Okay, so I've just placed this poor little ring up here. I'm sorry, ring. So let's mask him out. I think he's already a different polygroup, but we'll just group mask to make sure. And we'll go back to this subtool here, and we'll just say split, group split. That's fine. So he's by himself now. There we go. He's got his independence from the lower ring there, so we can actually appropriate him now and put him here. But this is quite a chunky little fella, so let's undo that. It's about the right size. It's a good. Is it a good size? It's a good size. It's not. It's overall, but he's a bit chunky. So let's solo it out a little bit, and we'll just use the pinch brush and go. Just kind of. Oh, it's a bit. Let's make it smaller. There we go. You can probably get the same effect just by smoothing. Yeah, you can. Might be a bit safer to do that because the pinch brush sometimes can reduce the circumference of things, but it can have some strange side effects sometimes. Okay, let's place the ring somewhere. Ooh. It's just a bit of a judgment call because that ring's pretty big. And, well, we've got the strap here. I suppose you can just rotate it down. That's not too shabby. Let's go to the strap now. Let's inflate the strap as well. And again, I'll explain why a little bit later on. We don't want to really inflate it from the side though. We just want to inflate it from the top if that's possible. Probably not actually. So let's just inflate it a little bit. And then I'll kind of push it in on either side still. And I'll explain why a little bit later. It's got something to do with how this would be overlapped essentially. Kind of folds over in on itself. So that'll do there. And this part here, just because I'm not sure, I'll just duplicate this shoulder guard part just to make sure I'm happy with what I'm about to do. And I'll find the vest. I should just click on the vest. And can we hide the collar? Yes, we can. Okay, cool. So with that there, let's just go ahead. I'm just going to move this slab. Actually, let's move the ring a bit, squash him down. There we go. So now we've just got to, I guess, oh actually, let's take the opportunity to make a unique shape. Let's make this sort of almost a square base shape like that. But we do have to shrink this down, unfortunately, so we probably do have to just kind of downsize it all. Yeah, let's just do that with the move tool. I was just considering using the pinch tool, but I think the move tool is the better way to go here. Just so we've got direct control rather than being beholden to the pinch tool, which, like I said, can have some unforeseen consequences. Okay, there we go. So actually, I want to inflate this edge here because it looks a bit thin. That's not too bad. Just shove it up a bit. Up a little bit, up a little bit. Okay, and actually quite like the idea of that sort of kind of just going into this sort of shape like this. Let's see. I guess that's a unique looking shape. I don't mind it. At the same time, I'm not entirely in love with the idea of it, but I don't mind it. It's inoffensive. As part of me still thinks a normal ring would look better, but I don't know. Anyway, you guys make that decision for yourselves, right? So if you think a normal ring looks better, go for it. Otherwise, I feel like I'm going to be using a lot of old rings, so I'll kind of keep it quote-unquote unique like this for now. And now, let's face it, you guys know me by now. I'll probably change my mind in about 2 videos time, what have you. Okay, so don't count on me sticking to my guns. Just looking at that from a, there we go. That's quite a chunky ring there. Look at that, it's nice and solid. Good. I feel like I could hold on to that, you know. dangling off the edge of a cliff hanging onto that ring there, and I'd be perfectly fine. Right, so the other thing I want to just address, it's not anything to do with belts and straps and what have you, or rings, but it's actually to do with the overall design. And don't worry, I promise I'm not drastically changing anything. Okay, it's just that this lacy cravat is rather small. And the reason how I can tell that is if we look at it from afar, you can see there that this area here, there's not a lot going on, so it's a good idea to kind of cover that with a lacy cravat. So let's go ahead and we'll just click it on there. We'll just enlarge it slightly, just slightly, and we'll move it down. Okay, so it kind of takes up a bit more room there, and you could argue that is a bit over encroaching. If you find that is the case, you can of course change its shape and you know how spread out it is just by using the move tool. Again, I don't really care how warped the lacy cravat part gets right now, because it is very kind of, what can we say, messy anyway. Okay, so we don't have to recreate it again. If we do, it's not a big deal either. We just simply bring in the old subtool. Okay, but these cravats are kind of messy and they kind of go all over the place anyway, so I'm not too fussed right now. If it kind of gets yanked here and yanked there, it's probably quite realistic actually. So I'll put that in there. So we got this kind of raised part here, which is a bit annoying because it likes to clip through. So let's just kind of try and find a nice happy balance between the top and the bottom layer there. Okay. Now you see with this kind of area now a bit more kind of taken up there, we can sort of see that now has a better overall appearance. Okay, that makes a bit more sense now. Okay, yeah, that looks nicer now. I think maybe I might just change how this sort of sits along here. Maybe that could be a bit bigger perhaps, and then we could take a bit more space. Anyway, we'll see later on. Okay, right, so we're getting through it now. I just want to check. Don't want to make the videos too long. Okay, we'll just spend a bit of time on these straps here. Let's just do a quick investigation whether or not we should crease it. And subdividing it like that, actually I think that looks quite nice. I'll crease it now and then subdivide it. I think I like the look of that quite a bit. Okay, so it's quite round. Did I pull on something there? Yes, I did. It's quite round, but at the same time it looks quite nice, I think. Just pinch this top part there. There we go. Yep, okay. Right, and I think for this one, I'm actually going to leave those straps featureless at the moment, because when it comes to the stitching and things like that, I think the stitching will take care of it. I'm not really so keen to kind of introduce the indentations or the kind of raised edges like I've had so far with the belts and other places. So there's only about 2 more left to do in terms of belts. There is the one around her waist here. Okay, so there's that kind of funny, unique looking one. And remember, we did draw some concept art about that as well. And then we are going to tackle the one which is on her right arm there at the top. Well, I can't show you right now because ZBrush is doing the life-saving thing it usually does. So we're going to tackle that one on the upper arm there as well. And it's just essentially that upper arm one is just going to be, I think it might just be like an extra pouch for either, some kind of ammunition perhaps, but it's going to be nothing more fabulous than what we've got on the Vembrace here. Okay, and I think actually what else is annoying me is these trousers are permanently black when the rest of her is not. So let's go to texture. Let's take the texture off. There we go. Okay, we'll finally put the trousers in high definition as well, because they were just pixelated for no reason. And she's only got 1 foot. She's got one kind of shoe. That's fine, it's okay. I'll eventually get around to mirroring that. Okay, but I think the design's coming well together, guys. I hope you're happy with the design so far. I think it did take a while for it to kind of get finalized and to get it where it is now, but we're reaching the end now. We're very, very much nearly there. Okay, and after this, we get to take a bit of a break and actually do some facial likeness work, okay, which will be quite an exciting part to switch to.